The recent update changed the listing of skins, it added a new troop skin, and it altered parts of the battle mechanism. Let's have a look first at the skins, how they are listed. You can go to your castle, to the Customize tab, and you see already here nice separation between castle exteriors and marching animations. And when you go one step further, you see first a nice overview of all the exteriors that have been released. You can see the collection bonuses and you can see the active bonuses. You can also filter them on the ones that you own and the ones that you do not own. And for the ones that you would own, you can also see then if you would own a 1-day skin, a 7 days, 30 days, 3 days, 40 days, or a permanent one. For the rest, if you have them already, you can simply select one, you use them, it's there. And not surprisingly, the same applies to your marching skins. Now also a new troop skin has been released, which is the Desert Horseman, and not surprisingly, this will boost your cavalry some. Already at Grey fully unlocked, your cavalry attack will be increased by 6%, and if you would go it all the way to Gold, you would add another 15% to your cavalry attack. This skin requires as universal troop medals or specific Desert Horseman medals. The universal troop medals from the type S are not that difficult to acquire, so this is a pretty easy one to upgrade. Now for the final part, let's have a look at the battle mechanism. What changed? Already the battle record is very nice. It's very clear to see here what happens. For instance, you can see here that from the enemy at 18 seconds their D5 line up, the bowman attacked my infantry line. And for instance this one, the B1 lineup of spearmen hit my A2 lineup from infantry. Also in this overview you see very nice that all commanders are active. Before only 4 out of 5 were active, now all 5 are active. Also what is still the same is that you will have, initially you have your A line and your B line hitting the enemy A line and vice versa. Their A and B line hitting your A line. Now what you also can see is that the commanders, if you click on a specific part of the section, have exactly 1/5 of the army under their command. In this case it's my infantry. If I would also have spearmen, each commander would have 1/5 of the spearmen. Same goes for cavalry if they were present, and bowmen. And they themselves are the 5th line. They will only leave the battlefield if all lines prior to them have been terminated. Before, for a commander to use his skills, it was a necessity that his specific troop type was in his lineup. Now it no longer matters. What matters for him is that he has troops, and it doesn't matter which type. For instance, Beret here is an infantry commander. He will be indeed active in the past when he would have infantry under his command. If it was spearmen in the past, he would not have any active skills. Now it would not matter. And the damage output that he does is simply the combined damage output of each line divided by the number of lines. And also what is new is that he will have counter activated. So in this case, the first line that he would hit would be the horseman, which means he would be countered. So then his damage output would be half of what it normally would be. If he would hit the second line, the spearman, then his damage output would be doubled, simply because he is countering. If he would then hit the next line, which would be infantry, his damage output would be just regular. In the past, this would not matter. Now, this also has to some things that you have to keep in mind. For instance, I have here a very strong front line. You could also say that by accident I would have a very weak second line and a very weak third line and a very weak fourth line. It could be even one troop in each of the other lines. As a consequence, the damage output of the commander, which is determined by the combined damage output divided by the number of lines, would be significantly lower. Now, in this case, it's just one line, so it will be the damage of A1 divided by 1, and if by mistake I would have these one also filled, it would be the combined A plus B plus C plus D divided by 4. So it's very critical that you keep in mind what you send with your army, that you do not by mistake send only a few troops of a specific type. Now, since the commanders are here active, you can also do another thing. If I would not know what the other team would be sending, if I would go in blind, I could also choose to send spear commanders. Why would I do this? Well, if I would run into a cavalry wall, my front line, which is infantry, would be countered perfectly by their front line, which is cavalry. However, my commanders doing countering against spear would then still do a significant damage on their horsemen. You can also think of something else. If their front line is spear and you know it, you could send infantry commanders with your army like I would have now, because then their damage output would be even doubled simply because of the counter, and the damage which you then do in the other team would result in more soldiers ending up in the hospital or death, and hopefully increasing your merit a bit. So this change in battle mechanisms is a nice one in my opinion, and it really favors, I think, also the armies which only are made up from one specific troop type, because you can, if you know what it is, what the other team is defending with, you can really do way more damage than before. So I hope I made a little bit clear of what the change in battle mechanisms is, and that you can apply it pretty soon. Probably not with the next round of alliance conquest coming up, the ultimate conquest, because it's going to be pretty soon, but maybe if you view this video in time, you can apply it in the upcoming KVK, which starts at the moment when I'm recording this at reset. So indeed, if you have watched it before this time, good luck and hopefully kill some more